Charles, talk to me a little bit about why data is so important for artificial intelligence or AI.
So the way the models, the data is important because it's used to actually train these models. Like the models is really it's the LLMs are really just a next word predictor. So you give it a phrase of text, and then it makes a prediction as to what comes next. That's really all they do. But it's amazing how well they work and the different kinds of tasks they can be used for. But with that said, in order to get them to work that way, you have to train them on enormous volumes of data. And so if you don't have that, or you don't have access to it, or let's say the data is compromised, or the data has, copyright associated with it or other issues associated with it, it's not, you won't be able to build a model that does the kind, that works very well. It's the long and the short of it. So in order to build really effective models, you need access to fairly large amounts of data in order to train them so that they'll know how to respond appropriately.
You mentioned something about data being compromised. I mean, people talk about good data, bad data. I don't think of John Wayne good data or, bad data type of thing,
Yeah.
but, or Clint Eastwood bad, but what is compromised data? What is good data? What is bad data?
Sure. So one of the ways that machine learning systems can be attacked is if you, is by attacking training data. So if a lot of systems use continual retraining. So like you set it up once, and then after, like, I'm just going to make something up here. So like every week, it then pulls data from user inputs and then uses that to retrain the model so that it like continuously improves or learns what people are doing. So if a user can maliciously insert, uh, training data that's designed to kind of move the model's behavior a certain way, essentially what they can do is they can take over they can modify the model to do what they want it to do instead of what it's necessarily intended to do. So there was an example in a paper I read or a book. I forget what book it was, but there's a rather kind of famous example with Google Translate, so Google Translate allows you to suggest new translations. So imagine if you put in a phrase and every time you put in this phrase, you suggested a new translation that meant something completely different. Eventually, what would happen is when someone else sees that, it would produce what you produce because there's enough. You've kind of poisoned the training data. So that's kind of a way of attacking AI systems.